camping has been my life. It's just been my life. My early education was just for the purpose of being what I became. We ended up coming out to Colorado Springs and going to Young Life Camp. And we went to leadership training there and got all excited about doing something in the way of camping. So we started looking for some property. And we ended up, as you can guess, in Wet Mountain Valley. It was up a road called Horn Road, and you had to walk in. We saw this 160 acres, went down to talk to the man that owned it. You can have it for $1,600. So we said, okay, we'll take it. So we put down $500. That was what you know was Horn Creek. We worked that summer. We chopped down trees. We didn't know enough to take off bark off of them. We just tacked them onto 2x6s on the end and built some cabins. First major building we had to have was a place to eat. And we thought, well, the cheapest material we got are rocks. Gene and I would go out and we'd pick up rock. Gene mixed the mud with a hoe, and I would lay up the rock. And we made a rock wall. My wife mixed every bit of that mud for that rock, for that building. June the 2nd is our wedding anniversary, and I bought her a cement mixer. And I think that first camp we had about 19 of us. We were thrilled.
Up here, it's a little piece of heaven. We're all on the same playing field, regardless of our profession, regardless of our education, regardless of our wealth or no wealth, employed, unemployed, it doesn't matter. We're all on the same playing field.
Horn Creek has always been my home. My name's Andrew Zeller. My father and my uncle, Dwight Zeller, founded Horn Creek back in the early 50s. And when I say home, the kitchen back there is where my parents had their honeymoon. 5 of my children work on staff here, either full-time or part-time.
The strongest bonding that a family can undergo usually takes place here at Horn Creek. The traditions of Horn Creek are the one common thing to everyone who comes here.
I can't even begin to imagine the thousands of families that have walked through the trails and experienced the Horn Creek experience. Horn Creek, through a camping ministry, through a camping environment, plays a crucial role in strengthening families, in ministering to families, in providing families an opportunity to heal.
In August of 2003, our daughter got diagnosed with a tumor. I sent an email to Robin and I said, I don't think that we can go. We don't have it within us to finish the deposits. She's going to be in and out of the hospital. It just wasn't going to work. She called us back and said, I'm sending your money back and you guys are coming. You guys need a break. We went up to Horn Creek for a week, and it was there that a lot of things unfolded. We met some doctors there that hooked us up with some other doctors. This was all through relationships made during that week that just made all that possible. We didn't ask for that. It was just Robin just called us up and said, you guys are coming, here's your money. We're going to give you the best cabin we've got and come up here and just have fun. And that's what we did, didn't we? Mm.
We provide a place that is so removed from the normal parts of society that people can truly refresh, they can restore, and they can renew relationships with their own family and with others.
From 1973 till we retired from the Army in 1993, we were only at Horn Creek maybe once every 3 years between assignments as we drove from one coast to the other. And what stands out in my mind and my memory is that Paul and Jean Zeller, at the last minute, they would always find a place to tuck us in for a week while we went from either an assignment in New York or Kentucky or California or wherever. But Paul and Jean made it so that that week at Horn Creek, whether we were at the lodge or Mountain Meadows, became kind of an anchor for our children.
Horn Creek's success has a lot to do with the county's success. Our growth originally was based on mining. The next wave of economy here was agriculture and the ranching industry. And that is the mainstay at this point in our economic base. Our economy, of course, is changing, and people come here for recreation, and Horn Creek fills a need in that respect as well.
We are always looking for opportunities to do more and more with the community. We don't simply want to be a destination for our guests, but to come here and use this as a hub to enjoy all of what the Sangre de Cristos have to offer.
Horn Creek's offered discount coupon programs to roughly 50 merchants here, so that when they get away from their retreat and obligations at Horn Creek, they come down the mountain, they take in our wonderful wet mountain valley, and we're grateful for that.
Horn Creek attracts guests from all over the place. On average, annually, we have about 15,000 guests. Horn Creek is probably the single largest attraction in Custer County.
The influence in the county by Horn Creek is increasing all the time, not necessarily because they're growing in capacity, but because they're growing in involvement. And they have shown a real interest in keeping our community alive and vital and being a part of it. They sit on many of the boards, they volunteer on our fire department and in our emergency services, and are just integrated into our community.
Even though it's a separate entity from Custer County, they believe in the growth of the local community by employing tradespeople, making sure that their kids go to our Custer County school system, and they participate in the local community.
Not only do they bring employees and families and thus their children who enroll in our school district, they bring a lot of visitors to town. Some of those visitors, in fact, come and vacation and enjoy the activities that occur out at Horn Creek, and many of them will buy property and eventually build homes or buy homes here in the community.
About half of our employees homeschool their children, and the other half school them at the public school. And those parents are very involved in volunteering their services for the school.
We're real proud of our school, and I think they have honored us by choosing to participate in the schools.
They've done an excellent job of assimilating a large number of people and a constant turnover in campers up there into an environment that is very sensitive, and managed to protect that environment and be good neighbors at the same time.
We have several areas of compliance that we have to deal with, and one of those is the U.S. Forest Service. We're neighbors, and we utilize U.S. Forest Service property for our trail rides, for our Horn Peak hikes. There's a partnership that takes place there. But another area of concern there is how our forest is impacted by things that go on in the national forest, and then how they impact us. One area that's real important here in Horn Creek is dealing with our water. As we continue to work through the procurement of our water rights, it's costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we're working through that. It'll take several years to complete that, but it's essential that we do that. Without those water rights, we wouldn't have been able to have operated. We're working very closely with our local health department on our food service facilities. The 3 kitchens that we have were built back in the 1960s and 70s and are very outdated. The health department's been very cooperative and worked very closely with us in monitoring those. The bottom line is that we need to upgrade those facilities, and those upgrades will be very costly upgrades.
One of the tasks that I'm interested in accomplishing as a board member is seeing that the foundation that my family set here is continually being built on.
As a board, the founding values of Horn Creek are very important to us. And as we think about the mission and vision and values of Horn Creek, we want to be careful to maintain the core values of this ministry that have carried it the first 55 years. I have grandchildren that'll be fourth generation campers coming up here this winter. And it's important to me that they understand the core values of biblical teaching.
Horn Creek has a huge impact on our young people locally having a place to get their first job, or to have a summer job, or to blend in with people from other places. Horn Creek is a stable place for teenagers to make those kinds of connections, and that's been positive for us.
What Horn Creek has done has enabled us to pass on to our children a godly heritage. I want this ministry to survive for my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Are we really willing to commit ourselves to doing that? It's time to give back. But we've got to be serious about it.
I thank God that I was able to be in the ministry I've been into. I hope you can find a great satisfaction about serving the Lord in a ministry of camping.